Star Market Patriots Postgame show. Shaw's and Star Market make shopping, ordering online, and saving easier than ever. Download the Shaw's Deals and Delivery app or the Star Market Deals and Delivery app today. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray, after a Patriots win in New Orleans, 25-19 the final, moving their record to 4-2. We've got a real win streak. And Joe Murray, if we didn't already know it, we have a real live quarterback. Your thoughts on what Drake May did today, again, on the road, in what, I know it's the same every week, but a big spot, especially some of the throws he made late.
Drake May was unbelievable today in the pocket. He maneuvered out of sack situations. He stepped up in the pocket during pressure. He rolled outside, but he also kept his head up and looked downfield. There were multiple downfield throws, some for touchdowns, one to Pop Douglas. He was slippery is the word that I would use. But as far as his pocket presence and his eye for the field downfield, I don't know if we've seen a quarterback with that type of skill. Now, you saw Tom Brady for years who just knew the plays and knew what was going to be open. No, this guy slips out of a situation, lets plays develop and routes continue to go, and can make the throws downfield. So I'll use elusive, slippery, whatever it was. That's what was most impressive to me. So I know they struggled at times with runs. The refs certainly weren't on their side, and we'll get into that later. But overall, Drake May was the reason for this win today. Drake May kept plays alive and kept that big playability. I almost don't know if they could win this game today without those big plays downfield, because everything that was intermediate, they struggled with. It was Drake May that made those plays downfield. So once again, the floor is rising for May.
If you wanted to sit here and argue with me that he's carrying the team, I wouldn't argue with you. I wouldn't argue back. Am I going to state definitively that he's carrying the team? I don't think I need to go that far, but he is by far the most significant piece to this whole operation. Obviously, he's the quarterback, so that's going to have to happen. That's going to have to be the case to some extent. But what you said, Joe, what he's doing, okay, this is evolving before our eyes. And we always try to come on here and not become prisoner of the moment, but I don't care. This is what we're looking at. This is what we've witnessed. What he is doing, for what you said, not just the throws, not just the timeliness of some of the plays he's making and the big plays that he's making for this team. The little things, maneuvering in the pocket, negotiating the rush, finding the check down, making the right decisions, running when applicable, and being effective when he runs, using his athleticism, using that elite arm talent to the best of his. This is the entire package, what we've been looking at and watching the last few weeks here, Joe. And if that is an indication of what's to come, in a way, now is the defense, have they played lights out? No. They had some nice complimentary moments today. There are, places to go. We can criticize some of the things and a lot to get to, but Drake May remains the story, and that's good news for the Patriots, and I can't wait to hear what Mike Vrabel has to say about it, and he's speaking right now live. The Mike Vrabel press conference is brought to you by Oker's Technology. Let's go to him now.
Today, and give them a lot of credit. They competed, they answered, but we extended plays and made some huge plays down the field, and glimpses of good football, and we'll have to clean up a lot of things, but certainly great to go on the road and be able to get a win.
What was your understanding of the offensive pass interference calls?
Don't really have much explanation. They see something, and we'll continue to play aggressive and have to clean some of the penalties up, but those live ball fouls that we talked about, in that situation we want to be really aggressive. We're taking a shot, long yardage, and we got a great punt, from Bryce after that. So we'll remain aggressive, and I want our players to be competitive, and certainly that was what they felt like they saw.
Initial thoughts on how Keyshawn played today?
I think he factored and certainly came up huge at the end. I think he's just gotten better, and just like his demeanor, never too up, never too down, and just, sometimes the ball finds him and he makes the plays, and when it doesn't, he, just kind of understands that it just wasn't his snap. And then to be there at the end there to take a good hit and score, and then to come up with a huge play there at the end, it really went in there and won the game for us on a third down. So I think you see the confidence that Drake has with him, his play strength, and his ability to go frame the football in a big situation. So I hope he can enjoy this for a few minutes with his family and anybody that was down around here, and just a big play for him.
Two replay reviews challenges helped you seal the win. First the fumble, and then having him moved inbounds allowed you to just take 3 knees. Were you confident ahead of time on both of those?
I don't think you ever really know nowadays. I really don't. Stretch does a fantastic job, and just trying to figure it out, how they're going to see it. Sometimes they see it the way we do, sometimes they don't, and just trying to be as smart as we possibly can, and we felt like those were plays that could help us.
Mike, you mentioned having some things to clean up. Any early thoughts on why the running game didn't get going?
Probably one guy away, like always, but had some positive runs, and we'll keep practicing it, and we'll keep working it.
Mike, what does it say about Drake's maturation and your confidence in that? With the game on the line there, that 3rd and 11, obvious passing situation, you guys are comfortable with the balls in the ball.
Yeah. I mean, the whole, being the protection, the operation, and him knowing where he wants to go with it, and that timing, and putting it in a spot where KB could make a play.
How much is that a teachable win? The young team getting out of here with a win, plenty to work on, but just finding a way to get the job done.
It's better than an old team getting out of here with a loss, I would say. But we will never not enjoy and embrace winning in this league. But I do think that guys are very aware of the fact that it can be better, and that it will have to be better the more that we go along here and play. So I think that's a good sign that they know that there's some plays that we left out there that we could have played better. But to do that on the road and be able to end it with the ball offensively and in victory formation is fun.
Mike, you've said all along that sometimes the ball finds you. You said earlier about really a game like this from Kayshawn and Demario Douglas, be proof of that to these wide receivers, that they don't get frustrated. The ball will eventually.
And I think that we've talked about it. Some days it's like, well, this guy only played this, or he didn't have any snaps. But there's a lot of things that go into offense that a lot of us that aren't going to see or show up. Some of the dirty work and some of the clear out routes, or guys finishing on the 3rd level to help guys gain some extra yards. And I think it's just a testament to these guys that understand, like, I'm going to get my opportunity, I'm going to make the most of it. And we need as many of those guys as we can possibly get in all 3 phases.
Big moments for Marcus Jones today. Just how important is he?
Great. He's one of our captains. He's team leader. Very comfortable with him back there. He's challenged. He challenges, and most of the time those matchups are a bigger player. But him being able to go up there, contest the catches, get some PBUs, being able to hammer the ball out, whether that was Christian or Woods there at the end. That was another one that was probably close to being challenged. But looking at that, where the distance that we were going to gain, getting the ball back, they did us a favor there with the punt. But that was probably another close one. Disappointed in getting three points on the goal line, and those are the types of things that'll have to improve, and we'll have to make sure that we're not beating ourselves down there and that we score. When we do that and get the ball down to the 1 yard line.
Mike, I know early in the season you named a lot of game captains. Did you name one today and we just missed it, or was there someone who was?
Yeah, he didn't go out. Kyrus Tonga was nervous, maybe. I'm not sure to go out there, but you can only take 6 out there, and I'm not sure. I don't know how many guys are going to go. I usually just talk to Hunter or 1 or 2 guys that I know are going to go out there. But it was Kyrus, and he does a lot of the dirty work for us on defense, and really enjoyed being around him since the time that we signed him. Thank you, guys. Safe travels home.
All right, that was Mike Vrabel after the Patriots' 25-19 win. Mike Vrabel's press conference is powered by Oakers Technologies. Our coach knows a winning playbook is the key to success, and when it comes to your company's technology, the Oakers playbook has been unstoppable for over 100 years. So get future ready with Oakers, proud partner of your New England Patriots. And Drake May, I appreciate Mike Vrabel's even-keeled commentary there. What we saw from Drake May, I'm just going to say it, Joe. He needs to start being mentioned alongside the other names where people are considering MVP type of stuff, because this is what he is basically carrying this team. He is doing it without, I'm not going to say without help, because he has had help, but there are other aspects you would think you would want that young quarterback to benefit from that they're not getting. And he is still producing at an elite level. Not a good, not a high level, not he's playing well. Elite level, elite NFL quarterback play we are seeing from Drake May all across the board. Because I don't even remember when he had turnover problems?
Yeah.
Were you thinking about that at all today when I was watching I hope he doesn't turn it over? I wasn't thinking about that at all today.
Yeah, I thought as a team, maybe.
As a team?
Listen, I called this game a trap game. I thought it was. I actually think it lived up to the expectations. So if you want to blame me about saying it was a trap game, this was a one-possession game. Right? It ended up being a one-possession game.
Correct.
And we'll get into Vrabel's reviews and challenges because it won them the game today, by the way. So as much as we're talking about Drake May and the level, I just looked up the odds here. According to DraftKings, he opened the day 10th for MVP, is now 8th. Mm-hmm. The day's not done yet. So some quarterbacks could drop later on, Mark. So you're right. Through 6 games, Drake May should be considered MVP of the league, not because of the other names or the other players. He's their best player. He's the most valuable to his team, and this is the biggest point I wanted to take away here. They can't run the football. They're ranked 29th in the league in rush yards per play. Today, they could not move the ball unless it was Drake May throwing the ball. So when they had their hiccups, first down up the middle, how many times did you see a handoff on first down up the middle? It was driving me crazy. They can't run the ball. When they secured the game, remember that booty catch to get the first down?
I do.
That's how they have to move the ball. So the fact that he has no running game, I don't think it's sustainable, Mark. I don't think they can continuously win this way. If they do, this is why he's in the MVP conversation.
Drake May, once again, the leading rusher for the New England Patriots on 9 carries. He rushed for 28 yards. Travion Henderson on 9 carries rushed for 27 yards. And Ramondre Stevenson, 13 carries, 18 yards, no fumbles. So that was good. Look, you said it, Joey. This is where we are. Drake May is the guy that makes everything go. Okay, he makes everything go. And if you're talking about a running game, I appreciate you bringing this to the forefront because it's absolutely noteworthy. But at the same time, I kind of love it because I never dreamed we'd be in this situation where the guy has no running game, nothing to lean on as a young quarterback, yet he is completely carrying the day. With his throws, with his dropbacks, with his own running, he is carrying the offense. And not only is he carrying the offense, he's carrying the defense. The defense isn't as good as the offense. The offense Drake May is carrying. Okay? That is a big deal. That wasn't supposed to. We were hoping for, hey, he'll take that next step. He'll look like the guy and that the Patriots have their next franchise quarterback. No. Now we're talking about MVP. And the best part, Joe, he looks it too. He looks it with what he's doing. He's passing all of the eye tests because of how he maneuvers. I mean, some of the way that he maneuvered in the pocket today, I mean, that was arousing. You watch him. He stepped up on one of the best. I thought his best throw of the day was the throw with 2:12 left, I think in the fourth quarter on 3rd and 11 to Mac Hollins. Dropped back, stepped up. It was like he was in a drill in practice. He brought the ball forward. He stepped up. He kind of slid to the right in the face of pressure and delivered a strike to Hollins on 3rd and 11 for like 13 yards, first down. Awesome throw, awesome play. I mean, that's elite quarterback play. Yeah. And they're winning, Joe. This was what I was worried about coming into the game. Can they win? Because he didn't have to dominate, but could he win? Everyone talked about the Josh Allen thing, how in his 3rd year. He's doing it now. He's doing the Josh Allen thing that it took Allen a long time to get to. Now, in his 2nd year, and they're winning. They're winning, Joe.
Yeah, and listen, 3rd and long to me with Drake May, seems like it's a completable play.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. I listen, I know it's hard for a lot of us not to compare to Brady. And we just watched Mac Jones here. We've watched Bailey Zappi here. You've watched Jacoby Brissett last year, right? Like, you saw these things. We've never seen a guy this elusive. And I don't even want to make comparisons, but this is why Aaron Rodgers was great. Aaron Rodgers could get out of the pocket, make plays with his arm. Drake May on third downs was elusive. I can't say it enough. Slippery, elusive, whatever you want to say. But he was the reason why. I don't think they win today without May's long plays. And really, if you go back to the last couple of weeks, they had trouble getting plays down the field past 8 yards. They didn't have that problem today.
No.
So that's why I really think that the story of the day is May is progression, but everyone jumped on his back today. And I just wanted to bring this up real quick, Mark. The Patriots have matched the win total from the last 2 years through 6 games right now. So they've won 4 games in back-to-back years. Through 6 games of the Mike Vrabel era, they're at 4 games right now. I didn't expect it. So this is a surprise to me, and I think for Patriots fans, 4 wins in 6 games has been unheard of the last couple of years. I think we are seeing something that is maybe bigger than we thought.
And I just want to reiterate, it's not just the wins. They could be winning these games, Joe, but it wouldn't be as intoxicating or as uplifting as it is because of how they're winning the games. If they were winning the games in the years with Mac Jones and the way we saw them get to that number 1 seed in late November, whatever it was, in that form and fashion, this wouldn't be nearly as exciting. The reason it's so exciting is because of Drake May and the way he's playing football. And I love what you just said. Physically, he sort of does remind me more of Aaron Rodgers than anybody else. I know everybody liked to do the Josh Allen thing, and he was kind of Josh Allen reincarnated. But the way he moves, his quick release, that does remind me of Aaron Rodgers. Now, hopefully he's not it doesn't create a culture that Aaron Rodgers created where they can never come back and they always underwhelmed in the playoffs, but we'll worry about that later. He does look like a little Aaron Rodgers. He runs the ball probably more like a Josh Allen, and just, he's finding ways to win. Even today, I thought he had 2 of his worst throws of the day in the fourth quarter.
Oh,
and then
I blame the receivers. I think Williams didn't go to the sideline. He went to it, and then Pop Douglas didn't run the right route.
Okay,
I don't blame May on those throws.
All right, well,
maybe we'll ask Bedard. Maybe,
well, yeah, he's watching tape. I just think, and then he comes back and makes the beautiful throw to Booty to ice it. I mean, that's big boy quarterback.
2 weeks
play.
in a row. He closed it out last week. Closed it. That's what they need, right? Wasn't that his biggest issue, by the way, last year? He hasn't won games, can't win games. He's learning to win games.
But, last year that was still, a first-year quarterback, his rookie year. This is what we needed to see this year, the ability to win games. Because when you get into your second year, even if the stats and the numbers and the eye test aren't there, can you find a way to get the team to win? And he's been able to do that, and that's what he's doing today. That's what he did last week. Obviously, the Panthers the Panthers, they just beat the Cowboys. Now, that was a game in Carolina, but I don't know. The Patriots crushed the Panthers. Maybe that's speaking to me. Maybe that's telling me something. So, a lot to get to. We're going to hear from Drake May, but first, we're going to get a headlines here from Joe Murray. Let's do it.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Patriots are now 4-2 on the season. They got a 25-19 win over the Saints. Drake May, 3 touchdowns on the day. He was 18 of 26, threw for 261 yards. Kayshon Boutte, 5 receptions, 93 yards. He also caught the game-winning first down to seal the game. They've now won consecutive games. They'll wrap up a 3-game road trip, 3 consecutive weeks in 10.
into the end zone. A flag on the play, and it's a touchdown for the Patriots.
All right, back here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots Postgame Show, Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. The drive of the game is brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. We'll help you manage life's storms. That drive of the game, complete with a Drake May pass to Kayshon Boutte for 28 yards, 7 plays, 73 yards, as the Patriots get the score. That was after one of the most horrific penalty calls I've ever seen. We'll get into that. But first, let's go to Drake May, who's at the podium. Drake May, brought to you by your Chevrolet dealers.
No, shoot, I think it's huge. Anytime, Coach just said, you got to celebrate, winning in this league, no matter how it is, no matter how, much we could have played better and how much we left out on the plate. But, Saints are a good team. They got some good players. And, they played hard. And it was tough playing here at home, at their place. So just proud of the guys for coming out with a win. And good to get out of here and get on next week.
Drake, what does it mean to you that, with the game on the line there, 3rd and 11, obvious passing situation, the safe thing to do is just hand it off, but they put the ball in your hands and they trust you'll make the right decision and put the team in a position.
Yeah, it's just about making good decisions. I think it's just trying to prove it over and over again. Be consistent in doing that and, knowing to be smart with the football. I think that's the biggest thing that, in that situation is try to, get a first down, safe throw, to the sideline, and what a play by Boutte. It felt right, being back home for him. So.
Drake, you said in the offseason we showed up, tired of losing football games. You won 3 in a row now, 2 on the road. What's it feel like now to be leading the team? Feels like you've become one of the leaders here in Pigs. You're seeing him working the sideline. With Kayshon showing up big on some of the catches there, you're spreading the ball around.
Yeah, we got more work to do. I think that's the big thing, but it feels good getting, in the win column consistently. That's 3 in a row. We got to keep going and building on it. We're on the road again, but no, it feels good to win and it feels good to win on the road. It's always nice to win on the road, and like I said, just trying to step up leadership wise, and the defense played covered our butts in the second half. They played their butts off.
What did you see on the OPI?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I think on the ground. I thought to try to give him a chance. I thought that and I think the other one was off. PI with Pop's second touchdown. I'm not sure what the case was, but yeah, just unfortunate. I think that stuff happens. I think Steph maybe gave him a little something, but it was on the ground. Couldn't really see.
Drake, just get the deep passing game going a little bit today. This one wasn't like to push the ball down the field. What do you think led to that?
Yeah, we had some chances again. I got to give Mac a ball on the long 3rd down and have some more chances to push the ball down the field. So yeah, I think just being diverse and being you're able to do a lot of different things. Kind of hit them short and make them come up, and then you can hit some deep ones. So it was good to hit some deep shots, and those guys made some great plays.
Drake, you mentioned the OPI that nullified the Pop touchdown. How significant was it to still come out of that drive and the touchdown? What did you see on the play of Kayshon moving up and throwing that ball to
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was huge. I think it was a really late call. We were almost on the sideline. I was about to sit down. But I think just coming back and battling and, picking up a couple, consistent drives in the first half. And then, Boutte with a great play, in the back of the end zone, just trying to give him a chance on one-on-one. One-on-one's open in this league, and you got to know that. And, we left some out there coming out of the half in the second half first drive. So that was a bummer, but just got to keep going.
You mentioned Kayshon briefly, but him coming back here, kind of where he grew up and everything like that, and the game that he had today. How good is it to see that from him?
Yeah, offensively, him and Will, it was cool. Seeing them, do their thing, and big ovation. I saw Will walking off the field with some cheers, so that was cool to see, and it was special coming home. I haven't been back to Charlotte yet, but it's always special coming home. With so much memories. I think Will said to me earlier this week he was there for. He said Steph broke his heart on the Minneapolis Miracle or whatever down the sideline. So it was cool to get a win for them.
Patriots have been a team that's always traveled well with fans. To leave the field in a road stadium and you have a large number of fans there what's it mean?
Yeah, that's sweet. I probably need to give them some energy to pump them up, but it's awesome seeing how much how well we travel, how many fans come out to the games. As it should be. It's one. I think it's the best sports city in the world with Boston. So, we expect to travel well, and we'll finally give them something to travel for.
Drake, was there any part of you guys that wanted to go out there and prove that last week against Buffalo wasn't just a one-off?
No, we just want to keep build momentum. I think that's the biggest thing. Kind of week to week, and don't just show up and kind of linger in on last week's big win and let this one come beat you. So think that was huge to get a win here, and we got to keep going and keep building them.
How much is the teachable with what you guys are doing, the goal line situation where you had some problems with the running game? How much is it get a win, but also there's some teachable?
Yeah. I can't take the leg game. That's a huge 4-point swing. Just mad at myself. I usually do a good job of watching the clock. Just can't have that. And then other than that, just gotta, it's a lot of 300-pound men up there within 2 yards. It's hard to get 2 yards. So just trying to get the big guys going, and they're playing their butts off. So it's almost tough that when you get down there, the biggest plays are the ones, with them at the end.
Like a last question. Drake, last year the team won 4 games. Here we are sitting, going into next week already 4 wins. Sort of, what is your thought on the early process?
Just go get win number 5. That's my only thought. I think last year's in the past, and just trying to keep building and hopefully, we just keep showing up every week and being a tough team to play on the road and winning at home is what we're trying to build. So I think we're on the way to that. Thank you guys.
Drake May's press conference is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers and the Chevy Silverado, where dependability comes standard. Drake May in this game today, 18 for 26, 261 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 28 yards rushing, leading the New England Patriots. He was a lot kinder than I would have been, Joe, about some of those calls. The call, without absolutely blowing a gasket, the call that was made against, I think it was Stephon Diggs, on the offensive pass interference when they had the touchdown, it would have been the second touchdown to Demario Douglas. That might have been the worst call I've ever seen in my life. I mean, not just the physical call, but the timing of the call. I mean, I thought it was a post-play penalty. Some type of taunting or something. I mean, how late the flag came out, I still don't have to replay even know. The replay person on the network didn't even know who to put the camera on because no one on earth knew what happened there. And it honestly makes me, it shakes me to my core when you look at society in general, like how somebody could be that bad at their job just concerns me because that was such such a display of malpractice when it comes to refereeing a football game. I don't know how that call was made. I don't know where it came from. It was the worst I've ever seen, and I just have nothing to say about it other than disgusting.
There was multiple of them. That one was the worst, probably, of the bunch. There was another one later on where they called a push-off on Steph Diggs that was horrendous.
Horrendous!
So listen to me. For those who listen to our flagship station, I do a lot. I call it the wrangle. It is the ref angle.
Okay.
And this game had trap written all over it. The officials were on the wrong side of it. It was just a completely despicable officiating performance today. Yet this team still won the game.
That's
cool. So I just want to say one more time that it was Drake May. And I do want to say that on the final first down, we mentioned it in the last segment, Kayshon Boutte caught a ball. The officials said he was out of bounds, which would have stopped the clock with 2:33 left. Vrabel throws the flag and says, no, inbounds. They review it. He is in bounds. So what does it do? It rolls the clock down. 2-minute warning, 3 knees, go home. So, the refs couldn't even get the final play of the game right. Vrabel had to make sure that they were right to review it because they were that bad. So, yes, the Pop Douglas play, horrible. The Stephon Diggs play, worse. There was at least a makeup call on the Pop Douglas one. They got that one back. The other one was horrible. This is why I tell you, I'm the last guy that can say that officiating should be looked at, but it's been horrible. If you watch college football yesterday, the Georgia game, there was a timeout, non-timeout. It was controversial. It was terrible. It does impact the game. Who the crew is impacts the game. Where the game is being played does dictate it. But you know who dictated today's game? It was Drake May, and that's why the Patriots won.
All right, to you next. 617-779-0985. It's the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots Postgame Show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
15-yard line right hash. 2 receivers left. Booty on the outside with his 2 touchdown catches today. May drops back, play fake. He's under a rush. May escapes. He runs it right to the 15, to the 10. May to the 5. May is bumped out of bounds. Angled out at the 3. It is first and goal to go.
It's going to be like so upright, so effortless. He closes from the 15 to the 4 in the snap of the fingers. Just seeing the field so well, so well.
All right, welcome back to the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots Postgame Show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray, 617-779-0985. Unclogging the Gaps, brought to you by Eastern Mass's leader in drain cleaning and pipelining, Drains by James. Slow drain? Clog drain? You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. They give a poop about your pipes. Drake May with the longest run of the day for the Patriots, 20 yards. And, again, their leading rusher on the day. That's something that has to change, but Drake May is taking care of everything, and we go to you right now on the phones. Let's start with Dave in Brockton on Drake May. Hey, Dave.
Hey, guys. How are you? I just wanted to come on here and talk about a couple of things today. First of all, Drake May. What a stellar performance from that kid today, right? It's like the second coming of Tom Brady out there. You got to love him. But the problem is that Butterfingers, Ramon Stevenson, or whatever his name is.
Look, there are frustrations associated with other aspects of the pitch. The quarterback is ahead of schedule, and because of that outweighs all the other issues. The fact that they can't run the ball, that's a problem. I mean, why can't they run the ball? They're getting nothing out of the running backs in terms of their rushing attack. But I'm willing to completely overlook that because what's really important is that the quarterback is doing the impossible right. I mean, he's playing at an elite level. And obviously to do what they'll ultimately want to do, Joe, they'll need running backs to perform. But right now, it's just so much about what Drake May's doing. I can even overlook some of the pathetic rushing numbers.
Yeah. I'm okay with, hey, if this is the only way you can move the ball is by throwing it, fine. It's working, and you do it until you can't. Taking the offense out of it, they needed some help from their defense. If you watched the opening play, Kyle Duggar was in, gave up that big play.
Yeah,
like that was an issue. But they held them to a field goal. The next drive, they held them to a field goal again. I think the only touchdown they gave up today was to Taysom Hill,
correct,
Wildcat. So overall, you can be one-dimensional if your defense only gives up 3 instead of 7, right? So I think that helped them early on. But that score before the half, I think we've talked about this week in and week out. They're getting better at these calls before the halves. And I think today, that 6 points was the difference.
Let's go to Josh in North Attleboro. Hey, Josh.
Hey, boys. Look, I'm not going to go through all of it, but the officiating is just such a huge problem across the NFL, college, even high school. I mean, I'm not going to go through all the plays, but Joe Murray was warning us, saying the line was smelly. And honestly, Jim Murray in the afternoon saying, I mean, guys, what are you going to do? Arrest these guys and throw them in prison? I mean, how else are you going to fix the officiating problem? They stole points from us. I mean, this is wild and crazy. Let's hang up and listen.
I'll say this, Mark. They actually took over 100 yards and a touchdown away from the Patriots today.
Mm-hmm.
Now that would have made the game more wide open. We probably wouldn't be complaining about the running game. So I'm with you, Mark, on the not going to freak out about the running game thing today, but it's got to get better.
It's got to get better. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of running backs are so interchangeable. I'm not saying it's easy to get a good running back, but they're interchangeable. For years, when things weren't going well, the Patriots were somewhat able to run the football. So it just doesn't feel like getting it back should be all that difficult. And as far as the officiating goes, I mean, look, I don't know the intricacies of the officials in the NFL. Are they full-time employees? I mean, that was something that I never understood. You need to pay people, and then you need to have consequences if the job isn't done well. That's how you improve performance. So I don't know if they have those protocols in place. I mean, are they paid a handsome wage where they take pride in what they're doing, or is it a side gig and they're just trying to, I don't know, cash the check and move on? Or are there real consequences to not doing well outside of you're not going to get a playoff game?
Yeah,
I mean, you got to find a way to get it better.
I will say today's game was impacted by the officiating. It also was it actually affected the betting line. The total was 45.5, 46. It landed 25-19. So you tell me that the officiating didn't have an impact in any of your sides or bets today.
Bob is in Lawrence. Hey, Bob.
The Bill Belichick apparently is allowing them to tweet out videos of Mac Jones. He's having a rough day so far.
Well, no, you mean yes. The Belichick.
Belichick
this isn't about
Hey, listen. He overrode Belichick on this one. He's the best thing going for North Carolina football right now. It's Drake May.
Drake May's the best thing going for North Carolina and the New England Patriots.
That's right. I just look. Yes, they need to be better. I will give the defense some credit. It did, Spencer Rattler. And by the way, Mark Bertrand, if you're listening, the Beetle needs to bring this up on the midday show this week as we went off, or as the broadcast went off the air, they were throwing it to us. Scott Zolak said, quote, and I love this quote. Where is it? Oh, Spencer Rattler was the best QB the Patriots have faced all year. Beetle, I want to hear a discussion on that on the midday show this week.
I thought he was good.
He was good. He is good. I mean, they have played Josh Allen.
Yeah. No, I would say today they chased the hell out of Rattler, and he got out of it. He was a little erratic from running. I don't think Rattler's the reason why they lost, though.
No.
But I do think maybe Josh Allen might have been. Maybe he didn't do enough. Maybe not giving the ball to Cooks might have been an issue for them,
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's sort of today from the Saints' perspective almost reminds me of the Patriots in week 1, and May might not have been as good in that game as Rattler was today, but it's just Drake made more plays.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You hear Spencer Rattler, the best quarterback they played this year. I thought he was very efficient, and I do think that if that fumble doesn't happen at the 50-yard line, 6-point game.
Yep.
Just about 3 minutes to go.
Yep.
They can kick a field goal, make it a 3-point game. They could take a lead.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, Spencer Rattler kept the Saints in the game with 3 minutes to go in the game with a chance to either potentially make it a one-score game. I want to give him credit, but the guy fumbled the tight end.
But even if they had taken the lead, Joe, I felt like the Patriots were going to win. That's what Drake May has done. We'll talk more about that. All right, we're going to get headlines from Joe. No commercials at the top of the hour. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports. WBZ-FM at HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub.
This attempt will be from 24 near hash. Behringer on his right knee, extending the right hand to Ashby, the rookie long snapper. And the snap is in place. The kick is driven to the uprights. And Borregales drills it. It's good as the Patriots expand their lead midway through the third. They took up more than 7.5 minutes of the third quarter. Their advantage now 25-16 over the Saints.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray, Andy Borregales, 1 of 1 on field goal attempts today, converting on that 24-yarder. And once again, this season, as part of their Apex Cares program, Apex Entertainment will be donating $100 to support autism education and research at the New England Center for Children for every converted field goal. For more information, go to apexentertainment.com. And once again, Joe, look, you were talking about the complimentary aspects of the game. But I just think it is worth noting, despite the fact that Spencer Rattler did some things and made some plays, the defense in the second half, when the offense of the Patriots only scored 3 points, gave up just 3 points. So I guess that's some type of complimentary football. Was it perfect? Was it an elite performance defensively? No, but that needs to be mentioned. Let's go to, let's talk to Josh in Indiana. Hey, Josh.
Speaker, here we are. Hey, Mark Dondero, you are awesome. I love your passion. I thank you, Joe Murray. You guys bring entertainment after the entertainment. But sneaky big win. A good team is supposed to go down there and beat that team, and they did. And that's all I really want to say.
And I agree with what Josh just said. Not the part about entertainment, but the part, hopefully. But I'm talking about what Drake May and the Patriots did in this spot. And you called it a trap game, and I agree. And I thought, Joe, this game played out exactly the way I thought, and I thought the Patriots did exactly what they had to do. Nobody was asking for them to go down there and play a perfect game. I mean, Drake May was pretty good. Look, I had him and Greg Bedard will join us at 5:35, Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal. I had Drake May for maybe 2 or 3 bad throws and then 2 other bad plays. That was it. The defense, the delay of game, which he talked about in the press conference. And then the only other bad play I had was on a first down run. He ran into Ramondre Stevenson's ass. Yeah. That was it. That was the only bad, and it wasn't even a bad play. It just looked funny.
There was one third down before the fumble from the Saints where, there was nothing open and he just kind of went out of bounds. And that's the one thing I like about May, and this is why I was critical of maybe Josh McDaniels taking over, was this kid needs to be able to be mobile and have explosive plays, right? Mm-hmm. I think they've taken the training wheels off, right? Is that fair to say?
I think so.
Because today, remember, we talked about the horrible Stephon Diggs call? They ran the same play again on the next play. It was all right. It kind of reminded me of when Moss broke the record. They missed the first time, but then the second time.
Right.
So how many plays of over 40 yards did they at least throw today?
But they're all big boy NFL plays.
All of them.
They're
and
not
they're beautiful
high school
throws.
plays.
Yeah, nothing. A 29 to Booty, 53 to Douglas. I guess those were the two that stand out, but he had some really big boy throws. You're right. He had one to Mac Hollins for a nice one. He hit Stephon Diggs on a first down on a little play. He had 2 incompletions in the first half and threw 3 touchdowns. He had more touchdowns than incompletions in the first half.
And I'll tell you one more, and we're going to go back to the call, 617-779-0985. But one other play that was noteworthy to me, and it was a nothing play. But in the second quarter, I don't have the down and distance. I think it was the second down. There was a play. He dropped back to pass. He maneuvered the pocket beautifully. He escaped to his left. He transferred the ball to his left hand and threw it out of bounds as a throwaway, avoiding the sack with his left hand. Now, was it a big play you're going to remember years? No. But even that, the awareness, the athleticism, just to not take the sack, something we saw in the preseason where he did take the sack and he fumbled. To not do that today, get rid of the ball, live to fight another day, all the cliches, and execute it. I mean, that's growth. That's evolving. That's what we wanted to see from Drake May, and we're seeing it. And then some. Alex. Let's go to Alex on the line. What's up, Alex?
Hey there. I know I was super thrilled with what I saw today out of the Patriots. We've been slowly getting better every day, eliminating a lot of those self-inflicted wounds that we saw out of the first couple of weeks. Besides the rush game, the rest of the defense looked really good. Some holes to fill in Spencer Rattler did great, but I was absolutely infuriated at some of the calls, at just some terrible points in the game. The refs, a lot of those calls were ticky-tacky and really didn't need to get called. And it's like, you know what, it infuriated. Like, we got to get better refs in the game, consistent play calls throughout just the NFL, not just our games, but all throughout. It's been terrible.
And that's the word that I wanted to bring up, Joe. Ticky-tacky. They weren't even ticky-tacky. There was nothing there. If they were okay, the one on, who was it, Diggs down the sideline? That one was, I guess, ticky-tacky. The first one when Douglas caught that one that went for the touchdown, that wasn't even ticky-tacky. There was nothing there. That was made up. It was made up into thin air. It was a joke. That you can't have somebody be that bad at their job and put them in front of America. It brings everyone down. It brings everybody's morale down that there's humans out there that could be that bad at their job, because then they go into other walks of life worrying, is somebody in the job that I'm relying on right now as bad as that ref we saw in the Patriots-Saints game? You just hope that's not the case.
I would just say that the Patriots that we have seen, this is what's different about the Patriots now. The old Patriots, not the Brady Patriots. The after Brady Patriots lose this game today. They melt down because things aren't going their way. They don't set up third and shorts. Their old quarterback would take sacks instead of trying to get out of it and keep plays alive. There's the coach probably doesn't have a challenge with 2 minutes to go to make the call to seal the game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All these like little things that coaching helps and good players help. They just didn't have that before. So again, the reason why I was curious about a trap game this week, or at least thinking about it, you can't just think the Patriots have this big win against Buffalo and they're just going to go on the road next week and beat anybody. Like the Patriots were never good enough to beat anybody in the league. Well, now they are. And today we should celebrate. Today's when I'm worried about next week already.
We're gonna have a conversation about that coming up, because I have that queued up, and it's fascinating when you look at and outline it. We're gonna do that. Let's get some more calls in. Nick is in Plymouth. Hey, Nick.
Hey guys, I'm just calling in because Josh McDaniels is not the guy. Those plays that he was calling, always going straight at the line with his running backs, those misdirection plays, like he does not have the fundamentals of coming up with a scheme that helps with Drake May and what his actual strengths are. All those plays that are being called from last week and this week that are making amazing plays, those are Drake coming up with it and the guys coming open. He's not using him well enough.
All right, Joe, is Josh McDaniels the reason the running game is putrid right now?
It's part of it.
Okay.
I'm a known non-Josh McDaniels fan.
Mm-hmm.
So, people think whatever my opinion is on Josh McDaniels, I'm a hater. How about I go to the red zone? Is that okay? May I mention the red zone?
Yeah.
Drake May has been unbelievable, right?
Okay.
They struggle in the red zone. They struggle. Today they had an opportunity. They didn't score. They need to design the plays better. How about the 2-point conversion? That's the best you can come up with?
It was on the half-yard line.
They didn't. Did they get it, or then they didn't get it, and then they got it? No, but I still don't know because of the officiating. Did he fumble it? Did he fumble it? My thing is, it's not great.
No.
So can I be critical of at least their offense in the red zone?
Sure. I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm going to say this because I thought this was one of the worst plays from an execution standpoint. But it was 3rd and 7 in the second quarter, and this led to the bad snap that ended up the turnover on downs. I do not put the play call there on Josh McDaniels because on 3rd and 7 they ran a draw. And I think that's an okay play call there. You just have to get some yards, Ramondre Stevenson, and he got cut down at the line of scrimmage. Unacceptable.
My whole thing
because you're going to go for it on 4th down. That's why you make that call.
There was a few plays I was curious about. If you look at what the Saints did, I'm actually kind of curious. I don't know if I can necessarily blame a coordinator for this, but Demario Davis shot a gap and was just in the backfield for a play.
Yeah.
But everyone covered their guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think New Orleans really scouted the Pats' run game well. This is probably why they're 29th in the league in rushing. They're probably going to drop into the 30s today. After today, I just think that the linebackers on the other team know what gaps to shoot to stop their running game.
It's a fascinating discussion because usually the offensive line, if they struggle with the pass pro, but they're not really. I mean, look, I think this is a big deal, and I know people will laugh. The aura that I'm getting from Drake May is skyrocketing right now. I mean, when he drops back to pass, just as a person, as a fan watching the game, I'm not worried about turnovers. I think something good's about to happen. I mean, I get a good feeling when he drops back to pass. I'm not worried about pressure, and that maybe speaks to the offensive line. I'm not worried about, oh, gosh, he's going to be under siege again. I'm not worried about it. Now, part of it is because of his ability. He's proven he can kind of manage the pocket, negotiate the pocket in the rush. But I'm not concerned. Where I am concerned is when he hands it off, that somebody's going to be knifing through the line every time. So how do you fix? Is it the linemen? Is it the play calls? I mean, how can they be that bad, especially when you're throwing it well and you still can't run it? You'd think some of those lanes would open up.
I think they need to use the sideline a little bit more. But again, that sounds like I'm critiquing Josh McDaniels. I think the up-the-gut first down run kind of hindered the offense today.
I mean, Stevenson did have 2 rushing scores last week in the red zone.
Today, the Patriots rushed the ball. Overall, and this is including the 20-yard rush from Drake May. They went 31 for 73, 2.4 yards a rush.
Yeah, that's despicable.
It's 2 yards below like the where it should be. I think it should be like 3 point something.
But you have to understand who you're talking to. As a person that despises
the running backs don't matter anymore.
Pound. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I hated living in the ground and pound world that we were living in. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and cry in my beer of because the Patriots can't run the ball. Not yet. That's something later when you're talking about true contention and they can't do it. Then it becomes a problem. Then you can't close out a game. You can't control the clock, the tempo. That's a bigger deal then. Right now, it's about May making these plays, which he's making. Let's get another one. Jake in New Hampshire. Hey, Jake.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys. First of all, I want to say good win. They did exactly what they needed to do. Go on the road, win. It was definitely not a guaranteed win. Second, the running back situation is going to be talked about all week. What can we do to improve it? We see Alvin Kamara there. He's clearly still capable. What do we say? We just pick him up for the plane ride home.
I would do anything of that sort. And in fact, Joe, I would just keep cycling guys in. Obviously, I'm not giving up on Travion Henderson. I don't think he's been good. I think his vision is severely lacking. I'm totally unimpressed with what I've seen so far. Not giving up on him. I'm just telling you, based on what I've seen, I've been unimpressed. He doesn't really break through contact very well, doesn't handle contact very well. He doesn't look like he sees the holes very well. He has certainly not been dynamic in the passing game. He dropped the screen pass today, which I thought was unnecessary. So I don't really know what to say. I would just keep cycling guys in there, practice squad guys, rookies, bring in a free agent, somebody you think could contribute. I don't care. Go bring back Ezekiel Elliott for all I care if you think he can hold on to the ball. But they've got to try something because this isn't working and it's worth it based on how well you're playing. You have to try to find a spark somewhere from a running game perspective.
Yep. And just remember, Brady's first running game was the dink and dunk, right? That's where I would go. I would try to maybe pop Douglas on a little pop and screen, go. They got Efton Chisholm dressed today. Is there a spot for him there? Can they try to get Kyle? If you're going to work on it, since the guy asked, how do you get better? That's where I would go. I would try to work on that, or maybe some pitches to the outside.
You brought up Pop Douglas. I want to talk about him. Greg Bedard will join us on 5:35 from the Boston Sports Journal. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
behind the right guard. Snap back to May. A twist up front. He stands in. He throws the left back. Shoulder caught by Booty. What a throw. The connection is there again. Drake May to Keyshawn Booty with a defender on his back. And a first down New England near midfield. In fact, the Saints' 49-yard line.
That's a big-time throw, boys. That is a big-time throw. Start the buses, pack the bags. You got a 4-2 football team heading home, baby.
All right, back here in the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show, 617-779-0985. New England converted 19 first downs today, and with every first down, Credit Union's Kids at Heart funds promising studies into new treatments for pediatric brain diseases. Learn more at cukidsatheart.org. And, you know, it's an interesting piece. Again, there are things, I'll just say this to kind of cap off the running game discussion. I'm disappointed that they're riding Ramondre Stevenson. I think a change there would do some good for this group, for this unit, for this operation. I think he's a mistake waiting to happen. I don't think he makes dynamic plays in the running game nearly often enough. And based on some of the struggles he's had, I would have moved on and tried to find. I know it's hard. It's easier said than done. I had questions about him making the team even. And based on the way he started this game, I would have tried to find new energy there. And I think that's something that could benefit them if they were going to really prioritize doing that.
Agree, Mark. Are the people out? I find it interesting today that here we are reacting to a game where Drake May literally single-handedly carried the team on his back. There was some really nice coaching moments late in the game. The defense gave up 3 points in the second half, right?
Yeah.
They scored 3 touchdowns on big plays over 20 yards today. The things to be critical about are that running game that's still struggling. And, I mean, where else? Like, there's a couple of guys that maybe you could look at and be like, he needs to be better. Kyle Duggar early on, I thought maybe, didn't look great. But the fact that they won today when they probably normally lose a game like this, I think we should be positive.
Well, I mean, I think it just speaks to where the NFL is now in terms of the quarterback, how the quarterback dictates so much. And just one other thing. Pop Douglas today. Now, I'm obviously incredibly biased. I had higher expectations for his ability this year. And I refuse, as a result, to believe that his lack of production is based on a lack of ability or that he can't produce more than he's been producing. But I'll tell you what, if he does what he did today, the offense, I mean, when you talk, we know what Stephon Diggs is, and based on what he did the last 2 weeks before this, he's still got it. We like Keyshawn Booty and what we've seen out of him. It feels like he could settle into that number 2 role on the outside. If Pop Douglas can become a factor, Joe, that's a nice little passing attack there that reminds me back, some of those teams, almost like 2001 when you had Troy Brown, David Patton, and some of those guys running around.
Yeah, I'll say this: if Diggs is the guy with Henry over the middle and Booty on the line, I think that you could mix in the Mac Hollinses and Douglas could be dynamic. I didn't when the 2 incompletions in a row. Kyle Williams again. I'm going to say this: you're always taught as a runner to go towards the sideline than over the middle. May threw it to the sideline, so I blame Williams on that one. On the Douglas, he maybe overran the route. And this is probably from him missing the first down a couple of weeks ago, right? So I think maybe in his head he's like, I got to get past the stick. So
it's a good point.
It's just he overran it. I think if he went right to the line and looked at it, May would have threw it right in his hand. So although May looks like might have missed him, I blame the receivers for that.
Let's go to Zach in Indiana. Hey, Zach.
Hey, how you guys doing? I just want to ask, as a Boston sports fan, after watching the past 2 to 3 years of Patriots, should I start to feel some sense of relief seeing how Drake May is playing? I mean, just to play devil's advocate here, I mean, the Saints going into this, what were they, 1-4, right? Like any halfway decent NFL team could probably beat them. Also, the fact that Drake May is doing great is amazing. That Bills win last week was phenomenal. However, what is this, a successful spell that we're seeing, a temporary period of success? I mean, as a Boston sports fan, should I think that this is some sort of second coming of Brady, or, should I kind of hold my horses and wait and see what happens?
Well, first of all, hold your horses on the second coming of Brady, because we don't know what he can do in the biggest moments, in the clutch moments, in the playoffs, and all those different things. We still haven't seen what type of culture he can create as a leader yet. It's too early. I'm just saying you should be excited based on what the vision. Forget about stats. Watch him. Watch how he negotiates the pocket. Watch how he completes passes with a flick of his wrist down the field 40 yards and squeezes the ball in the tight windows and does things that the elites do. Watch that. That's what gets you excited.
Yeah, what got me excited was last week the blitz came a ton by the Bills, and he shredded them. And today you saw a team that really didn't blitz at all, and he shredded them. So it's like, right. How do you attack? Look, what's the blueprint on Drake May?
He's settling in, Joe. He's settling in, and he's reading the game correctly. I think you said it last week. The game is slowing down for him. It looks like it's just walking for him. I mean, it is so. It's such a joy to watch him back there because he doesn't look like he's struggling like he did. Even when he doesn't make a play, he doesn't look like he's struggling. It looks like a walk in the park. He takes a snap, he makes a read. He avoids the rush, he makes the throw. He doesn't look stressed nearly to the level he did where he was a little jittery and erratic earlier in the season, which was understandable. He looks at ease back there, totally confident and calm, and like he expects something good to happen like I do. And I think that's a big deal. And the Douglas stuff, look, they've needed weapons for years. If you can get that type of production from a Pop Douglas and you get these three guys along with Hunter Henry, you're going to go places. You're going to go places in the AFC. Freddie's in Boston. Hey, Freddie.
Hey, good evening, guys. Thanks for taking the call. Joe, I agree with you when you said they took the training wheels off of Drake. He has been amazing ever since, the Bills game and today's game, it really shows. I have a question on the penalty against Diggs today. Now, as long as it took for them to call that penalty, do you guys think it had anything to do with the bigger guys in New York? Thanks for taking the call.
So I'll say this. The rule is 5 yards, whatever. It was bogus. It didn't happen. So, again, there was two penalties, so I'm trying to figure out which one. The one that was the Pop Douglas touchdown, bogus. Absolutely bogus. Bogus, bogus, bogus. Like hocus pocus bogus, okay?
Made up.
The second one was the lightest push-off I've seen. So I don't even know if there was an extension.
It didn't look like it.
But he had the hand.
Yes, he did.
I didn't see the push. That was so soft. It's soft. And the thing is this. These are big plays. These are game-changing plays. You think about it. You took that off the board. It's changed the momentum of the game. Like, it literally changes the momentum. Did they respond with a touchdown, I think, after that play? I can't remember, but
the first one they did, that was the booty touchdown.
They would have been up double digits.
Yep.
Like, how are the Saints going to come back from 13, 14 points with their offense? So I'm just trying to say, these plays impacted today's game. I don't know. I actually would love to hear what Stephon Diggs had to say because bogus on both of them.
I mean, look, the Patriots' offense. I'm sorry, their defense has had some slower starts. They've given up a lot of yards in some games. Not so much last week, but they've had some slower starts, which kind of makes you feel like the unit didn't play as well as maybe they did. I think they deserve some credit today. I think Mike Vrabel deserves some credit today when you talked about some of those challenges where you go, whatever he was, 2 for 2 on the challenges or 3 for 3, whatever it was. They deserve some credit. It wasn't the headline. They are definitely in the back of the bus with Drake May driving it. But if you have a quarterback playing at that level, that's all I need my defense to do. Not choke, not be pathetic. Get out there, make some stops, stabilize the game. They came up with a couple of that was a good turnover that Ellis forced. He came in, he punched the ball. It was a good play.
He had 7 tackles today, and he played against tight ends as well. That might be his best game I've seen him.
Yeah. I mean, they made the plays, and they did, again, in the second half, what they needed to do because the offense didn't put up as many points, but the defense stepped up. They settled in. So you got to give that unit credit based on how they perform. So I just feel like it's an awkward position because they are so in need. They were so in need of what they're getting from Drake May. You look at some of the other issues that they haven't had issues with, running the ball, some of these other things. Defensively, they've had periods of really good defense while, in the post-Tom Brady era. We don't know what to say. We don't know what to do because it's been we've needed this from the quarterback for so long. Now you're getting it. It now becomes, okay, what can you do to tighten up the other things? Because if you're Mike Vrabel, Joe, and we're going to get to this, we're going to talk to Greg Bedard and all the above. If you're looking at the expectations as they go forward, and we talked about expectations changing after that win in Buffalo, they changed again. And you look around the league, and you look at some of the injuries, and you look at the AFC, and you look at some of the wins and lines, things going on, and you look at how your quarterback's playing. Hello, you got to do something, and you got to find a way because there are some opportunities that are going to be out there.
I call it moving the goalposts. The Patriots and Drake May are moving the goalpost every week, and we'll set this up, but the remaining schedule is reportedly, I read this over this week, the Boston Globe had it. It's DVOA, which is the new statistic, the easiest schedule since 1978 for a regular season team. So get ready for it. The rest of the schedule is easy. But if they limit the bad football and the turnovers like they have, there's no reason why Drake May can't win any of these games.
And it's turned so fast. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, we were worried about turnovers. Now I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it. When he drops back, I'm not saying he's never going to turn it over again. I'm not worried about him getting sacked. I'm not worried about deer eyes. I'm not worried about stupid throws. I mean, it'll happen again. I know that. But I'm not worried. I fully expect something good to happen. And in that regard, it does remind me of Brady in 2001. Again, not that he's Brady, but just the fact that, hey, when this guy drops back and has the ball in his hands, I expect something positive to happen.
Yeah. Hot take, Brady had Antoine Smith that rushed for 1,100 yards. Drake May doesn't have that, and look what they're doing.
Exactly. And it is a different era of football, and I get it in the passing game and all that, but it is that's noteworthy, and that's something that we need to consider here as we move forward. 617-779-0985. More to come. Greg Bedard at 5:35 on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show. But first, let's get a headlines from Joe Murray.
Sports Hub.
On the road, they'll finish off that 3. Innocent oil change. Enjoy.
Douglas. And a play fake by May. Roll right. Sets up, plants. He throws a deep ball. Wide open pop Douglas at the 14. Catch left side of the 10. Catch right to the 5. To the end zone. Touchdown! Patriots!
What a throw by May. Off a little play action fake to the left side. He resets the feet twice because there's a free blitzer coming at him. He knows it. Let's go with this just a tad, I think, before he wants to, which creates space for Pop to run to. And then he makes the guy miss, and you're in. That's the way you count it.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show with 18 completions by the Patriots today. Catches Law donates another $1,800, which brings the catches for college season total to $13,100. The Catches Cares Scholarship ensures financial hurdles will not prevent students from pursuing their dreams. Obviously, the one we heard there, the long pass from Drake May to Pop Douglas for the touchdown, 53 yards, which got the Patriots offense off and rolling. And now we're off and rolling with Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal after a 25-19 Patriots win. Greg, good afternoon. How are you?
Good. Mark Dondero, who are we putting in Canton this week?
So here's what we're going to do. I want to start with this. You've watched a lot of football in your life. I want to know if the call that they made to negate that second Pop Douglas touchdown was the worst call you've ever seen in the history of your life.
So the second one was not the phantom one on nobody, on Diggs.
Yes, the one where Pop Douglas caught the pass and then the flag came out much later, and it was a call that they didn't even know where it emanated from. I think it was Diggs. They said got locked up with somebody, but that looked like a nothing call. What did you see there?
So a couple things on that. First of all, the officiating was so bad in this game that the official NFL stats platform that the media has access to that I used during the game was completely messed up multiple times because even their computer and whoever was inputting stuff had no idea what the officials were doing. So on that play, when I was first trying to figure out what was going on, at first it said Austin Hooper had pass interference, offensive pass interference. He wasn't on the field. Then they came back to Diggs. I went back and I watched the TV copy at one point, and I don't see anything anywhere on the field remotely close to offensive pass interference. So, yeah, that was I don't think I've recall seeing a penalty called that bad.
Saying something.
Yeah, I know. Greg, just to a couple of things on the day. I thought Drake May was so elusive in the pocket, was slippery, kept keeping plays alive, 3 touchdowns with over 20 yards or more. Very impressive today. Are they taking the training wheels off them? Have they taken the training wheels? And what I mean by that is he's able to look downfield for more explosive plays. Is that him being elusive, or are they allowing him to stretch the field a little bit more?
Well, I think that I don't think he's been as closely managed as, say, Mac Jones his rookie season. I mean, Drake May has a lot of controls at the line of scrimmage, and he's doing a pretty good job of that. It's not perfect all the time. I would agree with you, especially in the second half when they needed some plays. I thought Drake did a good job manipulating the pocket, probably much better than he did against the Bills. Now, the Bills just let him kept rolling out to the right. He kept making plays. I thought the Saints and Brandon Staley did a good job of limiting that today, and I think Drake realized, they're just not going to let me escape. I'm going to have to go up in the pocket. I also think another factor in this where, Drake got off to a bit of a jittery start in the first half against the Bills last week, took a couple sacks that he didn't need to, things like that. I think it's really the difference in the team and the approach coming in because, the Bills can generate some pressure. They have some good guys even without Ed Oliver out there, Rousseau, Joey Bosa, those guys. And I think Drake was a little cognizant of that, maybe a little, spooked coming in, a little too amped up. This game against the Saints, they're one of the worst pressure teams in the league. They don't blitz very much. They're one of these teams that sort of does what it does with Brandon Staley and, relies on their sort of, changing zone coverages and things like that. So I thought Drake came into this game knowing that that he was going to have some comfort. He was going to have the ability sort of like, in the second half against the Bills to let things develop, not quite be so ready to take the first check down. They were going to be able to get some things down the field with a couple of rookie defensive backs out there for the Saints. So I think it was really a matter of the different approach in this game and Drake realizing what he may or may not be capable of in this game.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this question now. It's week 6. I understand. We've watched what we've watched the last 3 weeks. What, as of now, Greg?
4.
Okay. What more does Drake May need to do as of now to officially enter the MVP conversation?
No, I think he's in it now. I mean, look, just we have a show to do today.
Correct.
It's 6 games in. The Patriots are 4-2, have won 3 straight. The last 2 games, they basically won because of Drake May. And if they don't get Drake May basically playing flawless football and not putting the ball in harm's way, they stand a good chance of winning. I mean, this is all 4 of their wins, either they haven't turned the ball over like they did today or at least won the turnover battle. And, look, this team's, because they're not all that talented, their margin of victory isn't very good, so they almost have to win the turnover margin. But yes, at this point in time, with the way that Drake May's playing and with the consistency that he's playing with now, if he continues to do this week after week after week, and we're talking about like he plays at this level or even raises it a little bit, and the Patriots keep winning against their historically poor schedule, then absolutely he will be in the MVP discussion, and I would expect, considering all the injuries around the league to key players, that we're talking about a guy that could be very close to, if not a lock, for sort of top 5 in MVP voting.
He's top 8 right now according to DraftKings. So this is before the day could end too, and he could bump right up to the top 5. Greg, the offense clearly is the story today because they won the game by big plays. Can they continue to be one-dimensional, and Drake May do this every week? I know that there was a delay of game, right? I think they struggled a little bit in the red zone in their appearance. I still don't know what happened on the 2-point conversion, if they scored or didn't. They did, I guess, but I still don't know the answer, even though the score rung up. But one-dimensional, can they be successful with Drake May without the running game?
They can in the regular season, considering their schedule. But if you want to do anything and win the big games, and especially win playoff games, no, this can't continue. They have to get the run game going. I mean, how many times have we seen it, whether it's, even Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, as great as your quarterback is, at some point in time, you ask too much of him. And he's going to be put in a position where he needs to force the ball, and maybe things don't work out for him and he turns the ball over, or teams are not afraid of the run. So, the pass rush is getting home. But yeah, no, if the Patriots want to do anything this season, this is not sustainable for an offense. Just Drake May playing great and pulling plays out of his rear end, and his receivers doing a really nice job, and getting open, and Kayshon Boutte making contested catches. You cannot survive that way in the NFL if you want to be a real football team.
All right, more on the running game when we're back here after the break with Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal. We'll be right back on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots Postgame Show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network. Start of the Boston Sports Journal, and just finishing up that point on the running game, Greg, why isn't the running game working? Because we've seen it in years past when the offense wasn't nearly as dynamic, couldn't create through the air like they're doing it now. Why aren't they able to run the ball at all? Really bad. Why?
It's a great question. I think there are a lot of different answers. I think, when at least going into this game, watching it on film, it's sort of always been, something different. Some of it might be on, Drake May a little bit in terms of, how many tools does he have to get them in and out of good runs? Is he doing a good job with that? It's hard for me to evaluate that. The second level blocking has not been very good. They have not, timed up sort of double teams and getting to the second level. Also some of the blocking from the wide receivers and tight ends has been pretty poor. I mean, when you're not running the ball well, it's the whole operation. And, I don't think the backs have done a great job at times. They don't break, many tackles. They're near the bottom of the league in terms of yards after contact. And I do think you have to give some credit, at least I know this week against the Saints. The Saints went into this, their advanced analytics as far as interior rushing was pretty good. I thought that they would press the edges more. I think they might have been a little bit afraid. McDaniels made reference in his press conference about how big they are on the edges, and I think they were, worried about running into, negative runs. I mean, what's amazing to me is, it always seemed, with this Patriots running game, it might not be great, but they're always getting back to the line of scrimmage, if not getting like 2 or 3 yards, pretty much every time, falling forward. Now, the second half, it seemed like, they were getting dropped for -3 every time. I just think it's a combination of things. They're just going to have to work on it. It's going to take time on task. Hopefully, you get a blowout one of these games. Didn't get it today, like against the Titans, where you can just say, we're just going to run the ball and we're going to keep running it. And I don't care what it looks like. We need to practice it and, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's been pretty poor to this point.
Greg, a two-part question for you. Kayshon Boutte was really good in his return to New Orleans today. 5 catches, 2 touchdowns, 93 yards. But he sealed the deal on that final first down at the end of the game here. And I was reading from our own Alex Barth at 98.5 The Sports Hub. His last 10 catches in a row have been for first downs. I mean, David Givens did that years ago, if you remember, when early on in his career. But 16 of his 18 catches this year have moved the chains. And on that play, if you recall, the officials didn't get it right. They said that he was out of bounds. Vrabel challenged, still had the challenge available. Your thoughts on Boutte, his play, and Vrabel still having that challenge available after being successful earlier in the game?
On Boutte, look, he's been great. I mean, that's a really good stat by, Barth. I mean, considering the position that Boutte plays, it's almost always the X. I don't know how much it means. I mean, it's just, look, the kid's played well, and he's been, really physical. He's made contested catches. I love the back shoulder chemistry that they're developing, where May and Boutte sort of see it the same way, that if the cornerback's on top of him, then he's going to throw back shoulder. If he's got a step on him, he's going to go down the sideline. That's really great. That's, high level stuff like, sort of Aaron Rodgers and some of the guys he used to throw to. The challenge by Vrabel and Stretch, I mean, it was really good. It was good. I don't know how much of a difference it really made.
Well, won the game, Greg. It won the game.
What do you mean it won the game?
He would have been out of bounds. They would have went out of bounds. They would have ran a play. Would have been the 2-minute warning. They would have ran 2 more plays and would have had to punt it back if they didn't get a first down.
Yeah, with how many timeouts did New Orleans have left?
There was, I believe, there was none. They had none left. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They would have still, if they didn't get a first down. The challenge was huge, Greg. It won them the game.
I just disagree. I mean, look, New Orleans, the Patriots would have run the ball on first down. It would have went down to the 2-minute warning.
Second down,
then they go down another 35 seconds.
Yeah.
That's 125 left in the game.
Yeah.
Then they run it again.
Yeah,
now it's down to it's under a minute.
It's a one
now it's under a
game.
minute. Now they take a timeout before the punt. Yes, but they're at Joe. They're at midfield.
Greg,
like they're punting with like 30 seconds left in the game.
Listen,
25 seconds.
We can go back and forth.
The Booty play. Mac Jones and Booty won the game. Don't be giving the coaches all this credit. It was a nice play. It was a good job.
Greg, if
the
anybody
players
gives
won the game.
Coaches credit, it's you. You do that. I am actually saying it mattered today. It mattered. That mattered. It mattered. They won the game. It won them the game. They literally were in formation to win it because they had the challenge.
But are you saying that they wouldn't have won the game had they not converted?
No, I'm saying the refs screwed up.
Yeah.
They challenged it, and it won them the game.
I think they were going to win the game either way.
They were
nice
going to win the game easily, Joe. They were going to be in victory formation no matter after the 2 minute warning.
But we can do this.
They're in midfield. They're punting. New Orleans is going to go. They need a touchdown. They're going to go in 25 seconds with no timeouts. The whole length of the field when they pin them at the 10. I mean, come on, Joe.
Greg, just hang on a second. You love to credit the offense and what they do. You love to do that. Mike Vrabel was a critical hire for the team. That was a huge play.
What does that have to do with what you're talking about?
What I'm talking about was they would have set up a potential punting situation to give the ball back in a one-possession game. Okay, great. All right. I thought it was impactful.
With no timeouts left, and the Patriots had the ball in midfield. Do I need to do math now to figure out how much time was going to be left?
I did that for you.
Let me ask a big picture question here, Greg, before we have to let you go. Who's the best team right now in the AFC?
I have no idea. I don't watch football on Sundays. That's up to you guys.
Greg, what? Okay, today was great. Drake May carried the team today. He carried the team, right? You agree?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Can they win 3 games in a row consecutively? Can they do it against Mike Vrabel? Again, I'm bringing up Mike Vrabel again. Going on the road against his former team. Like, there will be motivation there. So that's 3. It's never been done since Robert Kraft has taken over. They did it in 1985 in the playoffs, but they've never won 3 consecutive games consecutively. Do you think they can do that next week?
Yes, because it's the Titans. If it was somebody else, I might not be as confident. But with all the Titans guys, all the Titans coaches, Vrabel, Stretch, Tony all these guys that are on the staff. Plus, you got. Harold Landry, Jack Gibbons. I'm sure there are a couple that I'm leaving out. Guys that have been in Tennessee that were part of what happened, and they're gonna. I think they're gonna have their coaches back. If they were gonna slip up, it was gonna be today, in my opinion. So yeah, you can almost put it in the bank. The Patriots will be winning 3 games in a row, or 3 on the road.
I'm sorry. Did you say you can't answer who's the best team in the AFC right now?
Yes, I haven't watched any. I don't even know who won today, Mark. I'm working.
Okay, I'll get you out with this.
So answer it. So you tell me.
Well, we'll do a whole segment on that next. I want to ask one other quick thing that doesn't really have anything to do with today, but just because you're on, I'm interested. Let's just say hypothetically, you're at the Muffin House with Josh McDaniels, and he says, "Hey, Greg, I just got offered the Penn State job." What would you tell him?
I would tell him not to go anywhere, and I don't think that he has any interest in that. I know, he got some interest from, he got some interest from major college teams during his hiatus year, and he has no interest in that. I think he knows enough people in the college game with the NIL and the transfer portal. I do not think he would entertain that.
All right. Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal after a Patriots 25-19 win over the New Orleans Saints. We'll hear him on Tuesdays with Felger and Mass. Thanks a lot, Greg.
All right. See you guys.
All right.
run to, and then he makes the guy miss, and you're in. That's the way you count it.
Back here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show, Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. Pop Douglas making some moves with the ball in his hands after the catch today, helping him get into the end zone. Nearly 30,000 people in Massachusetts don't have permanent housing. Heading Home is changing that. Get involved today at headinghomeinc.org. I thought Douglas was going to get home twice today. Didn't happen because of the refs. Got home once, and it was a big play, and it's a different team, Joe, when that guy is making big plays. Forget about plays, big plays. And if he can get more involved as the weeks go along here, it's going to be a different team. Let's get a call here. Will is in West Palm Beach. Hey, Will.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
What's up, Will? You're on with Mark, too.
Hey, Mark, I just wanted to say, take it easy, bro. You're ready to blow a coronary, it looks like, on the screen.
Thanks.
But
we got a passionate debate there. A little come on.
I'm watching it, and I got a little concerned, bro. But you're not wrong. Everything you're saying is money. Now, listen, Joe, I remember hearing, I'm pretty sure it was on Felger and Mass, that there was a referee squad that was out there in the NFL that teams were, like, trying to steer away from, that they didn't want any part of. I'm wondering, is this that same crew that they were talking about?
Yeah, actually, you know, it's funny. There was some talk about an officiating crew having some issues, and this was one of them. Mm-hmm. Warren Sharp, who does Sharp Analysis, he actually breaks down. He calls them the zebras. He has a zebra report every week, and he breaks down how the refs could impact. So, meaning the total, the score. Again, the total today was 45.5, 46. 25-19 was the final score. I maybe my math. I think my math's been pretty good today, Mark. So I'm going to do a 25 plus 19. I believe that's just under 45, right?
Yep.
Kind of like that 2-minute drill there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, that would be under.
A brutal day for those bettors with 6 points in the second half after all that scoring in the first half.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
Hey, do the Saints deserve credit for that too? By the way. Like, let's just talk about the Saints for a minute.
Yeah,
scrappy, right? They don't have a quarterback. Like Spencer Rattler is a former high blue chip who played at multiple schools, but Kellen Moore is taking over.
Yep,
they're scrappy. They're veteran laden. Kamara and Miller really didn't make an impact, but Shaheed Cooks had a big catch later on in the game. That was like what the Patriots should have been last year. What they are, right? But when they get their guy, I know they drafted Shaw. He's not good. I think Arch Manning is probably who they have in mind, which I don't know about.
I don't think he's any better than Rattler.
But I'm just saying, today was a scrappy team that they played against. Like, to go on the road and win like that, it's not easy.
No.
And for both teams, quite frankly, to only give up 3 points when they were kind of going back and forth, it was a really good game. I enjoyed the game today. It was a sweat.
I enjoyed the game, and I thought it's exactly what the Patriots had to do. I thought that was the exact effort that they were going to get from the Saints. I thought the Saints would be able to keep it close, especially after that game last week where they fall behind. Was it 14-0 to the Giants, only to battle back and find a way to win that game? You're playing with a little bit of momentum. You're playing at home again. It's not like the Patriots have historically dominated in New Orleans. That hasn't happened. So I just feel like you did what you had to do, and you avoided the letdown after a big win in Buffalo, your biggest in a long time. Now, we could have this conversation every week. Well, they can't now let down against a bad look, eventually they're gonna not play well and lose another game. They're not gonna just run the table. But I mean, they followed up a promising win against Carolina with their biggest win in a long time. They followed up their biggest win in a long time with a good win on the road against a team that was playing with a little bit of momentum and sort of figuring it out. And they avoided the letdown. That's pretty good. That shows some maturity. The next thing that they need to do, and they can't do it when they're on the road, they need to find a way to establish some sort of presence at home. They need to create a winning streak at home where it becomes hard to play at Gillette Stadium like it used to be, okay? Because it hasn't been that way for a long time. And I think what we saw today, another thing that you can put into the machine is what we saw from Demario Douglas. And if he can become somebody that's consistent, that adds another dimension to the team. It becomes more like what we saw, where you brought up David Givens. When they had Givens and Patton and Brown and Branch. That's what this reminds me more of if they get more of a contribution from Pop Douglas with Henry.
And, of that group, you brought it up earlier about Pop Douglas. At first, it was the Givens, Brown, Patton. It was when they drafted Branch. It was like everything just kind of, it kind of.
Yeah.
So they might still need that guy. Maybe it is Pop.
Well, maybe Diggs is that guy.
Maybe Diggs is the guy, exactly. But, yes. There was a couple of things that happened offensively today. You notice they had a lot of third down play, and I'll look them up. Third and shorts, right? They're perfect for a quarterback. Third and short. And May just answered the bell, man. But I think when you convert on those third and shorts, that allows them the deep ball. And 3 touchdowns over 20 yards was the difference in today's game.
I mean, you just felt good about what was going to happen. Even on third and 8, third and 11, I was excited to see what was going to unfold. You just haven't had that in years here for the Patriots. Third down efficiency today, 6 for 13. It's just under 50%. That's not, and they had some third and longs. Okay, they were 1 of 2 on fourth down today with that bad snap, but they've been really good on fourth down overall. The one area that they didn't have a ton of opportunities to convert on this. The one area that I would really like, we've talked a lot about the running game, where I think they really need to focus on and improve on is their red zone defense and their goal to go defense. They're awful when it's goal to go. They score a touchdown every time, the opposition. I think it's like 6 for 6, 7 for 7. They have been awful defensively when the opponent has goal to go. So they need to get better at that. May is masking a lot of those issues. And I agree with Greg when he talked about if you're talking about a bigger type of goal towards the end of the season, you're going to have to be better running the ball. You're going to have to tighten up a lot of different things. But as of now, they're playing a bad schedule on this honeymoon thing with Drake May playing out of his butt. So they need to continue to ride him as long as they can because it's working as of right now. When we get back, okay, Joe, I want to go around the league and around the AFC specifically and try to figure out who the class is. Greg didn't want to do it. And where the Patriots stack up based on what we've seen, because this is fascinating to me. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots Postgame Show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network. All right, that was Bailey Zimmerman's backup plan. Music of the Game is brought to you by Live Nation. Bailey Zimmerman, different night, same rodeo tour. Live at TD Garden on March 5th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Back here on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show, Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. Joey, I'll tell you this. Based on what we've seen this year, injuries, play, wins and loss records, and more specifically based on what the Patriots have done up to and including today, I don't know what more they need to do as of right now to be considered one of the top teams in the AFC. When you talk about some of the records, the only one-loss team in the conference, or the 2 one-loss teams in the conference, 3, I guess, Pittsburgh, Indy, Buffalo. There's quarterback questions with different teams that have, I just feel like the way the quarterback looks has to put the Patriots in a conversation as one of the contenders right here and now. Is that unfair?
I don't think it's unfair. If they beat the Jets, they beat every team in the division, right?
Yeah.
So that means that they would have beaten every team. So I still think the Bills are still the favorites. Like, if you look at the betting odds, the Bills are still the favorites, and they have Josh Allen. And when it gets there's a lot of things for the Patriots. Will their running game get better as it gets colder? Can they rely on that? How does Drake May play later in the year? Can their kicker make kicks when it's cold? Will their defense stay healthy? Like, Landry almost got hurt today. There's just I
don't know how he didn't get hurt, by the way. It looked awful, and he's just back on the sideline, back in the game.
There's a lot of intangibles. I'll just say this. When you look at the AFC, I would say right now it's still the Bills are the best team. The Colts, though, are interesting. They almost blew the game today against backup quarterback and Jacoby Brissett. Remember him?
Yeah.
They came back to win that. That's a Daniel Jones-run team that's 5-1, probably going to win their division, which might knock out the rest of the Texans, etc. I don't think the Steelers are, but they won again. If we just continue to keep looking around, my take is, Mark, why not the Patriots? Why not?
You're right. And I just, again, to go back to some of the things we've been discussing, the running game, I just feel like that's a very solvable problem. I don't think that's something that should mystify the team for the entire season, especially if they're going to be throwing the ball with the efficiency that they're throwing the ball with. You've got, based on the ability to interchange running backs and swap out different guys and the available guys on practice squads, in free agency, rookies, guys you can bring in and work in there, why can't that improve? And if the defense is going to be good enough like they were today in the second half, based on the league and around the AFC especially, why aren't you in the conversation? Your quarterback is literally playing at an MVP level right now. And another thing I don't want to hear. Okay, and I've been trying to beat this drum for a long time. I'm done with talking about the weapons or the lack of talent. They have talent. They have weapons, okay? When you talk about what they've got with the receivers, Diggs, Booty, Douglas, Henry, and from there, that's a good group. With May doing what he's doing, that's a good group. That's not nothing. You talk about the secondary that we've discussed. Gonzalez, Davis, and Marcus Jones again today making plays. Okay, again, he had that great pass breakup. He prevented the touchdown by getting his hand on the left hand of Olave or whoever it was. Another banner day for Jones defensively. You got those 3 defensive backs. We know about the 2 guys in the middle of the front 7 there. If Landry wasn't hurt and he gets back into he's producing for them and they get other guys that are able to contribute, that's a good you have players. The line has been okay. They're not a sieve. They're making plays. You've got guys. Stanley is in Taunton. Hey, Stanley.
Good evening, gentlemen. I couldn't be more happier at the fact that we're winning games 3 in a row, baby. The second thing I wanted to talk about, man, what's up with the refs? They said Stephon Diggs committed pass interference twice when it was either ticky-tacky or I believe it was Tony Romo, or not Tony Romo, whoever was doing the announcing, the color commentary, they said that the way Stephon disengaged, he stopped, and then once Drake May left the pocket, they said it was pass interference when he rolled. Even though they said once he rolled out, the wide receiver can do anything he wants, and they took back the 60-yard touchdown pass. And the other thing is too, these refs, when they call pass interference, the next play they'll give it right back to the Patriots.
Yeah, that was another thing. That was awful.
They
The
did it
makeup
today.
call, pathetic.
Yeah.
You knew it was pathetic. They did that.
And you know what's funny is on another drive later on, that big Diggs play we mentioned, the next play there actually was a grab of the arm on Hollins, and they didn't call it. So it was inconsistent. The refs have spoken. Question, what did you see on the Stephon Diggs nullified touchdown by Demario Douglas? On that play, we ruled blocking downfield by number 8. It was early in the play. So in the situation, the flag needs to be thrown. You can't call it until the pass has been thrown. Which is just this is horrible.
A horrible call. There's no defense of that.
I actually don't even want to read the rest of this because it's a long developing play. He had to rewind back to what happened at the beginning of the play and process that.
Should we be giving the Patriots in general more credit for mentally overcoming some of those and being mentally tough? I think we should.
On the road,
yeah.
yes.
That's adversity that you faced in your face, stupid calls in a game that wasn't a blowout.
May I just bring this up? And I'm not trying to dig up a hole with the Bedard thing. This is why I think the Vrabel thing was important. That end of game sequence. I don't care if you're punting it back with no timeouts with 40 seconds left. Have you seen the Miami Miracle? Have you seen what happens in football?
Right.
The Patriots still aren't. They're not.
Kobe Myers.
They're still not good enough to give teams those opportunities. And today, their coach it sealed the victory.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to just say another thing, just so we're on the record, having brought it up. Okay. The Patriots, and you just said it too, they need credit because after that call that nullified the big play, what did they do? They still went down and scored a touchdown. Okay, that's mental toughness. That's overcoming adversity, doing what the good teams do. Okay, I'm going to just pinpoint one other play. I'll do that in a second. Let's talk to Kevin in Connecticut on the refs. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how you guys doing? So you guys are already touching on every point I'm really trying to bring to the table here. The refs, to me, they took away points as far as I'm concerned for the Patriots, at least a couple field goals. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I do think that the refs need to get their report cards and, go to parent-teacher conference day and do their thing.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of consequence for doing your job that poorly. And again, did the Patriots' ability to overcome, I think, is noteworthy. They were in control. I know it got a little tight there, and at the end of the game, it could have been lost. I felt like they were in control, Joe. Even if the Saints took the lead, I felt like Drake May was going to bring them back. I'll give you one other play real quick because I just want to mention. Do you remember this one? It was a pass that he had to scramble again. I don't know where it is. I lost it in the notes. But it was basically he scrambled up, maneuvered through the pocket, and then like a sideways toss to Travion Henderson. Didn't gain a bunch of yards, but again, an example of how he's able to negotiate the pocket, avoid disaster, and make a Mahomesian play by tossing it sideways to Henderson to get positive. I mean, just all those little things that are adding up, and every week now continuing to add up, are bringing this team to a different level.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the floor has risen. They're 4-2. They've matched their win totals from the last few years. They have a chance next week to beat the Titans, who are struggling today. Well, I'll go around the NFL coming up in just a little bit here, but they have a chance now to really go on a run. And when you win, these little things, Mark, they get better, right? The running game gets better. The little tweaks on third down, the blitz packages. So winning does cure a lot of things. But, the talk on May was always, is this the right coach with him? Is this the right coordinator? Is this that? I think they're letting Drake May be Drake May, and his ability and what he can do in the pocket. We've had this discussion before. They have enough talent to win. Yeah, they don't have. Everyone talks about, if A.J. Brown's available, get him. They can still compete with who they have right now. Like, they have talented pieces. They have Drake May, and their defense is getting better week by week, and it wasn't early on. The quarterbacks they play are going to get easier. Like, I would strap.
The schedule's unbelievable. You watch it, look at it again. It's unbelievable.
I'd strap ourselves in. I think the floor has risen to potentially 10 wins, and I I have a factoid on that.
A
before we get out
factoid.
of-
All right, we're going to go around the NFL next, but first, let's get a update here. Headlines from Joe Murray. Jaws and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Mark Dondero, Joe Murray. Joey, let's go around the NFL. And I wanted to get to this with Greg. We kind of got derailed. Somehow, and I'll need a longer explanation here. Somehow the New York Jets, did you see this? How many yards passing they had in this game?
Yes. It was 13 at half, I think it was.
They finished with minus 10 yards passing.
Sacks. Yeah.
Okay.
I think 9 sacks in the game.
Jets and Broncos today from London or England.
1:14 to go. No timeouts remaining. 4th and 7 with the ball on the right hash mark as Fields takes a snap in the gun. Pressure coming again. They're going to get a hand on him as Fields tries to squirm away. But Jonathan Cooper, the first one there, to bring him down in the backfield once more. Brandon Jones, I think it was, arriving as the cavalry came to meet Fields. And that will surely do it now for New York's chances of any sort of victory. And 0-6 is calling for the Jets.
That was the call on Westwood One version. Oliver Wilson and Eric Coleman. Jets, they fall again. They find a way to lose. Just a pathetic organization. They had chances. This game was actually a little closer than I thought. And once again, Joe can't get it done at the end.
Yeah, the Jets could have won this game today. They need to think about Tyrod Taylor at some point. But it's really bad there for the Jets. And we keep talking about the Patriots and their progression. They should not be able to beat I think they can beat the Jets. I think they should be able to.
In the same kind of vein that we talked about the Patriots, I guess we have to have a similar conversation about the Indianapolis Colts based on their win-loss record. Today, they got it done again against the Cardinals.
Jones, quick pitch to the left side to Jonathan Taylor. Cuts up, he's in! Touchdown! Touchdown! I-N-D-Y for Jonathan Taylor. And the Colts indeed retake the lead 30-27, 4:32 remaining in the fourth quarter.
All right, that was the call on the Fan and 97.1 Hank FM in Indianapolis. The Colts, I just refuse, Joe, with Daniel Jones. I refuse to consider them a top the AFC or top-level team in the AFC. When you talk about the one-loss teams, you're talking about the Steelers, you're talking about the Colts, you're talking about the Bills, who the Patriots beat. That's why I'm talking about with you raising that level of expectation, raising that bar, because I just feel like the Colts, Daniel Jones, should I be concerned?
No, but they have a running game that they can lean on. And they have receivers that make big plays. And just, I this is why I will say we have a show to do today. I've heard that before. The Colts today are the best team in the AFC.
Another team that could, based on their quarterback, stake that claim, potentially, the Chargers, and they were in Miami today.
Miami cannot ice the kicker. They are out of timeouts. So for Dicker, who has already made 4 today, this one will be from 33 yards right hash to put the Chargers up 2. It's a bad snap. And it's good. I thought it went wide right.
Woo. Okay, so that was KFIAM 640.
Just real quick on that play. Dolphins came back with like 36 seconds left to take the lead, 1 point. They gave the ball back to who? The Chargers. Chargers got a 42-yard reception from Ladd McConkey to set up the game-winning field goal. So this is why I say coaching is important in the NFL when it comes to time remaining.
Well said. Another team that in the AFC has historically been there, but not this year, is the Baltimore Ravens, who are hosting the Rams today.
Stafford has 1st and goal. Takes the snap. Boots out the right side. Early to the flat. All alone. Tyler Higbee struts in. Big rig. Higgs with a spike and a 2-touchdown lead on the road in Baltimore.
So the Ravens once again fall. I mean, look, I never dreamed, Joe, they'd be this bad. I understand Lamar Jackson's out. There's been fumbling problems for Derrick Henry. I never dreamed they'd be this bad, and they are out this year. I mean, now you're talking about tanking. It's a tank fest this year in Baltimore. They're done.
I don't know about the division, right? Who leads the division right now?
5-1 Pittsburgh.
So, yeah, they're done. They're done. And Lamar, wow, it's bad.
It's not all his fault.
Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh are pretty much going to roll the rest of the way.
5 turnovers.
6 games in.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame just from a standpoint around the league. Like, Lamar Jackson's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's an MVP. The fact that you couldn't, with that culture there, hold it down enough is devastating for them to just get into the playoffs and at least hold on until Jackson could get back. But, they've fallen apart. Awful. Cowboys and Panthers, a big one today from Carolina.
It's going to be a 33-yarder for the win and a chance to get to 500. J.J. Jansen, the venerable Jansen, to snap. Martin puts it down. Fitzgerald swings the leg. The kick is good, and the Panthers win it. Ryan Fitzgerald, the game-winning field goal. Carolina 30, Dallas 27. Sweet Caroline indeed.
All right, that was the call on the Carolina Panthers radio network. This is why, Joe, I asked the question to you earlier about the MVP conversation, because I know some people have already put Dak in that conversation. Some have him as the favorite right now, yet the Cowboys are 2-3. Okay, and I know they've had some injuries and CeeDee, whatever. They're 2-3. They're not winning games. The Patriots are 4-2, and they've got the best win on that whole, if you compare both teams. And Drake May has looked every bit as good as Dak Prescott for the most part. So he needs to be in the conversation right now.
I just want to mention Bryce Young, 8th game-winning drive of his career with a win today. I think Drake May has won.
Bryce Young. Okay. Well,
that wasn't a shot at Drake May.
No, I don't care.
I just wanted to mention that.
I'm watching Drake May right now. He's finding a way to win games. We'll see how he does in the future when he has to come back and all that. I wasn't expecting that stat. It's good on you. 49ers and Buccaneers currently happening it's in Tampa, this game.
In motion, Cameron Johnson dropping to throw. Mayfield pressure coming, throws the ball downfield. Got to wind him. Caught ball. Cameron Johnson. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Buccaneers.
Fire the cannons.
Okay. So this is interesting because this game, it's a ways down on the schedule, but it could end up being the marquee game the Patriots play all season. You know, obviously the Buffalo games are always going to be big, but this one with the Bucs in Tampa later on, based on what Tampa's doing right now and Baker Mayfield's ability to make plays.
I don't know who's the receivers today for the Bucs. I have absolutely no clue. Agbuka got hurt later in the game. They were without Evans and Godwin.
Yeah.
So who? Oh, Tez
Johnson just made a big touch at 45-yard catch.
Otten, their tight end.
He's good.
They have no wide receivers, and they're beating the 49ers today. And their running game is 84 yards. So, wow, Baker Mayfield, huh? Moxie.
I'm just saying, when you look around the AFC, obviously the Chiefs are looming. You never count them out with their culture, but it does feel a little bit different. They just lost to Jacksonville. Jacksonville can't get out of their own way. They are not a contender. They're too inconsistent. And dare I say, Drake May, right now I have him better than Trevor Lawrence. He's been better than Trevor Lawrence, and I feel like the trajectory is better looking than what we've seen out of Trevor. Trevor Lawrence has been so maddeningly inconsistent. I don't know who you say is the far and away favorite in the AFC right now. You'd think, I guess, Buffalo, but they just lost to the Patriots at home.
If I was,
there's no one that's easily the.
If I was in Pittsburgh, I'd be saying Pittsburgh's the best team. If I was in Indy, I'd be saying No, but what I'm trying to say is all these fan bases right now through 6 weeks can say, hey, like, we have a shot.
Yeah, but they don't.
But the Patriots do.
That's right.
They do, and the Bills are in their way.
The Bills are in their way.
But they're one up right now.
The Steelers, fake. Okay?
But they have
Colts,
the tiebreaker over the Pats.
They're fake.
We'll find out.
They are fake.
It is the season of the redemption tour of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't buy it. Not with those quarterbacks, not with those single call, not with what they're trying to do on those teams.
But by the way, this is why over the last couple of years and maybe a year ago, we should have criticized the Gerard Mayo hire. You know, Vrabel was available last year.
Right.
And, you know, this could have started a lot earlier.
Well, it looked like Robert Kraft knew what he was doing. They had him tabbed. The defense wasn't bad under Mayo. Looked that way. It wasn't that way. All right, we'll be back on the Shaws and Star Market Patriots post-game show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports on Patriots Radio Network.
Bad snap, takes it, now fields it, slings it to the end zone, and that's a Titans touchdown.
All right, back here on the Shaw's and Star Market Patriots postgame show. Patriots will be at the Titans next week. Titans currently trailing the Raiders 20-10 out in Vegas. Your thoughts on an early look ahead to the game, a little reunion between Mike Vrabel and Nashville?
I'll tell you right now, looking at it, the Titans are struggling. They have obviously the number one pick in the draft in Cam Ward. They won last week, surprisingly. They're still in it. There's 2 minutes to go. They're down 10. I don't think they're going to really come back and win this. But the big thing for me is winning 3 consecutive games on the road by week. Winning on Sunday night in Buffalo, going on the road in New Orleans, and then going back out on the road against the Titans. It's never been done in the regular season for the Patriots. In 1985, they won 3 road games in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl and get smoked. But it's never happened under the Robert Kraft era. It's never happened.
Where they've won 3 straight road games?
In a week. Like weeks. They've never. It's only happened.
In 3 consecutive weeks. Okay.
It doesn't happen often.
Okay.
It just doesn't happen often.
Well, part of that's the schedule.
Yes. And but they've never been able to sweep it.
Wow.
So they have a chance to do so. And if they do that, the rest of the schedule. I will also say this. 7 teams in NFL history had consecutive seasons with 4 or fewer wins and then won 10 games the next season. Peyton Manning's team, the Colts, in 1999 won 13. So what I mean by that is the Patriots won 4 and 4. The following season, 7 teams in history have won 10 games. Patriots have a chance to be the 8th.
I think they're going to go down there and blow out Tennessee. I think it's going to be a Mike Vrabel revenge type of thing. I am obviously not impressed. They have found their groove. They've officially found their groove. I think there was some question. Obviously, there were expectations today, but there was a lot of the vibe of, well, after that big win, how are they going to respond? How are they going to deal with the expectations that they're going to? I think we got that answer, and now it's just a team that's a hard team to beat. And they're a hard team to play against, and their quarterback is very dynamic. And it's not, okay, let's see what you got. Let's see if you're actually for real. I think they're for real. That doesn't mean they're a Super Bowl contender, but they are for real a difficult team to beat with a dynamic quarterback, and they're playing with momentum, and I think it's going to be too much for the Titans to handle.
I'll tell you right now, I think the players like Mike Vrabel. Right? Think about the trust.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson, come on now. The guy owes Vrabel everything at this point, right?
So
certain guys, Chase on today had a huge day. He's been hard on him. And I'll also say this. I think Vrabel's been hard on McDaniels. I think he's been hard on Drake May. I think he's been hard on the offense.
Coaching.
But I think there's trust now because they're winning. And now to know that he got fired in Tennessee and comes back to the team he played for and has the team 4-2. Like, I think 100%. The team is going to rally around Vrabel, and it won't be a distraction. But betting-wise, the teams that do play the 3 games in 3 consecutive weeks, it's the 3rd game that's the hardest to win.
Okay.
2 and 4 out of 7 scenarios.
I think they find a way based on that situation. I know it's tough. It's a 3rd game on the road, but I still think
right now at this point, I'd be shocked if they lost.
Right. That's based on what we've seen. And just Mike Reese this morning on his Sunday notes talked about how Vrabel puts the whichever player is going to be the captain for that game, not the captains that get to see every week. The game captain, he puts on their high school highlight tape in a meeting, and everybody has to guess who it is before he announces officially who the captain is for that guy. And I just think that's good for morale. And you're right. It speaks to the ability to get the players to buy in, to like him. The likability factor for Vrabel right now is at a very high level, and I do think that's going to be a factor next week in Tennessee as they go to play the Titans. His guys coming up big for him. Guys coming up big for us today, obviously. Producer Mark Capello, engineer Dennis Knudsen, Tyler Knudsen, Mike Perry. Big thanks to our intern Luke Arnpriester, studio technician Kevin Majori, and executive producer Jeremy Connolly. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Patriots, has teamed with Shaw's and Star Market for sacking hunger. Today, the Patriots recorded 2 sacks, and that's another $2,000 donated by the Shaw's and Star Market Nourishing Neighbors Foundation to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston to help end hunger. So great stuff there. Great stuff from the Patriots today as they win at 25-19 in New Orleans over the Saints. They're back at it. As Joe said, they're trying to win 3 straight road games. Next week, they'll do it in Tennessee against the Titans as Mike Vrabel goes back to Nashville. And we'll have the game for you right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. For Joe Murray, I'm Mark Dondero. This is the Shaws and Star Market Patriots post-game show on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
This